inviting people into a space where we're going to hold this story.
Love your art. Did you know a lot of the riders were actually women wearing beards?
Yes.
Which gives me such like Monty Python vibes. It's amazing.
Oh. What if Muppets did the Easter story?
If that's all we're looking for, that's what we're going to find. Yeah.
I'm looking for pie.
Yarn, welcome to this, the choppy shop of this ship of the sea that is Faith and Geekery, as we go on the great blue seas of theology, trying to find the great buoy that is the gift of God. Hi, I'm Tim, welcome to Faith and Geekery. I'm with...
Mark, hello, and I am interested by this theological booty that we might discover. And this is...
I'm Jen. I also interested in theological booty, though I'm jealous of your captain's hat.
The
Funny
captain's hat
captain, Tim, now.
The captain's hat that I just had on hand next to me, just in case.
Always have on hand.
Always have on hand.
Good evening, folks. Welcome. And sorry for those who are trying to watch us live. We are a couple of minutes late due to internet connectivity.
There was a small storm off the south coast that's impacted our direction. But we're here
Derby
now.
monsters.
And there's only one question that we need to ask, Skipper. What have you been geeking about since last time we met?
Good question. I have been mostly geek. I've not had a lot of time for geekiness in the past couple of weeks. But the little time I've had, I've been choosing to use it with the Bridgerton family and catching up on the season 4. And I know that's very delayed. I know most people will already have done that. But then I watched season 4 and immediately realized I needed to go back to season 1 and start again at the beginning. And that has been my geekiness this week. It's been brilliant.
There's a board game then, I think, that we need to play.
Bridgerton board game.
It's called Obsession.
Oh.
And basically you have like a stately home. You have different servant pieces that you can acquire, and each servant have different things that they can do, and you have to try and attract the really posh couple from Derbyshire to marry into families. They get the most amount of money and respect and money, because you can go like really low key and get Americans and foreign money, but they don't have any class. But you can get some really good dowager from down towards Kent to come in. She has the respect, but no money. It's a really good game. I will bring it to when we...
Sounds amazing. I like the sound of it.
But yeah.
Very good.
Mark, what about you?
I have been sorting out cosplay. You might see that on the Geeky Gallery a little bit later, of various shapes and sizes, including a commitment to my son's Iron Man mask, which I'm trying to resolve issues with a detachable jawline and faceplate for Iron Man. And the magnets were not cutting it. I've now kind of reverted to Velcro, which is fine, but it's not as cool as magnets. And there's tiny little bit of movement. So I might have to revert back to magnets. But like, this will be my 4th set of magnets to try, which is just getting a little bit ridiculous. Other than that, I've been working on my own cosplay and watching Vox Machina season 4, is it now?
Season 4, yeah.
Yeah, and it's exactly. Yeah. And what have you been up to, Tim?
I've been doing some of the good D&D stuff, like normal. and I've been embracing my inner, and I've been embracing my inner conference geek and watching conference on live stream, having attended briefly on Sunday. I do not regret going. I regret leaving the house though at 5:30 in the morning and not getting home until 10:30 at night, including a drive to and from Telford. So at one point I was driving past and I kind of went like, there's enough people around here, I could probably like ring them quickly, say, hey, can I just like have like a 20-minute nap on your couch before I come home?
It's a long day. That is a long day.
It was good. I went to the reception and connection service that morning. I went to the ordination services for the deacons.
Nice.
Pleasure. And basically, I think spent every single minute talking to someone.
That sounds good.
So for non-Methodists, that's
For
Methodist
non-Methodists,
conference.
That's
which
Methodist,
is
the Methodist conference, the only Methodist conference you should go to, if you can go to it
or not.
or not. You can watch it on live stream and catch up if you want.
And just by coincidence, we are talking about writing the church ship, which has nothing to do with Methodist conference policies, standing orders, or anything like that.
Nothing at all.
Officially, unofficially, or otherwise. So please do not kind of mention it on the conference floor tomorrow, anybody or anything.
If anyone is watching and
unrelated.
If anyone is watching this and they're on the conference floor tomorrow, please plug us.
Yeah, positivity.
In a positive sort of way.
Other things have been plugged on the conference floor. Plug us.
Yeah, and please don't just like plug us in a gangster sort of way.
How would that sound?
I mean, not saying like, hey, you should like, give us some money, to keep us going, Do
you mean plug as in like
hair,
dispatch is what I was on about.
Oh,
yeah.
Where did plug come from? A dispatch?
I don't know.
I don't know. Roll with it.
Shall we move
you
on?
Make him sleep with the fishes.
Yeah,
sleep with the
I don't know if
I'm
rolling over from Spider Noir. Anyway,
I don't know, but
he got plugged.
I think let's dive into the deep pool of knowledge and water that is the news.
Oops.
If it goes.
This is the Faith in Geekery News, broadcast to your home and around the world.
The news at 11 minutes past the hour.
So, folks, just one slide tonight, and it turns out there's a new setting on the videos, which is why I messed up. Geeky News tonight, we start off with kind of obituaries that Penelope Keith, who is best known for Margot in The Good Life, or is it Margot?
Yes, Margot. Yeah, Margot.
Yeah, it is Margot. And To a Manor Born and things like that. She has passed away, but also Michael Byrne has died, who is most famous, dare I say, for being the German officer in Indiana Jones, who has also passed away. In other news, PlayStation, and this is a bit of a modern minefield, or ethical quandary. PlayStation is pulling previously purchased digital movies from users' libraries.
It's
not okay. Is that not just theft?
No, because it's the agreement that they.
It's agreement. It's any movie that has come from Studio Canal, which includes things like the Nativity movie,
Amelie.
Nativity 2, Amelie. So if you've previously purchased it,
oh my gosh,
it's not only is it delisted, so you cannot repurchase it, it's also removed from your library.
Oh my gosh, that is bad. I feel like there's geeks everywhere right now who are like banging on about physical media, who are standing up and shouting, I told you so, I told you so. I
feel as if was it somebody like Bruce Willis or somebody like that, who was an actor at the time, had kind of really drawn concern about 7 years ago to this, about what happens when we move away from physical media and we rely on these agreements that,
I mean, they have it with there's a gaming version of this, where they have someone who, like, the gaming, there's an organization called the Gaming Library, and they try and get like copies of all the games that come out, But there are games which are locked on consoles that you cannot get access to anymore.
Yeah.
They haven't got the physical discs around anymore, or they're put online and then delisted straight away.
That is bad.
And this is it, because I mean, I am a bit of a hoarder with old game consoles, but my concern is that actually if you lose the physical disc, then whenever they decide to remove it, then you're kind of at their burden, at their, you're limited to that. And so if you have all the games on a hard drive, actually, if a hard drive fails, then you've got to hope that you renew all this stuff and download all the bugs. And it's
getting to the point now where it's not even going to be you download it and you have it on a hard drive and then you never connect to the internet again, because lots of games consoles now have an always online DRM involved. So if you want to access anything, it will do a quick refresh and go. So like again, PlayStation recently, it renews your licenses for all your games every 30 days. If you do not connect to the internet, you have 30 days or you won't be able to play it. So it's always there's an insistence of you have to connect online in some capacity and have an account with a credit card attached to it to recognize that you're over the age of 18 to have any of this content.
So there's this game called Pong, which requires like two little dials. And basically you just plug it into like an old aerial port and it just goes beep, 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 beep.
What's an aerial port?
Yeah, indeed. I suddenly... Now. No, better not. It's just a bit of these quandaries, and again, this modern times of digital ownership and otherwise, and it's just really fascinating to see where we end up in this. And a lot of people going, let's hold to the physical, because actually there is still some sort of ownership there, isn't there? But again, it depends on that kind of online content and licensing, etc. The only other thing to mention in our news, that after the bombshell that was dropped last week of a Thundercats movie, I did do a little bit of a deep dive, about 10 minutes worth, where I was kind of exploring whether there is a Thundercats movie or if there isn't a Thundercats movie. There is supposedly a director assigned to a live action Thundercats movie from about 3 years ago, but they're still working on the script.
Like it was the same with back in the day. Ed Wright was attached to Ant-Man for about 5 to 7 years. Got the script written, got it put in, and then decided he didn't like the direction that it was going, so stepped away after that amount of time. So directors can be attached, but
well, this is it. They haven't got the story nailed down. What he did say is that there's more likely to be a cartoon movie release before a live action one. So the long story towards a Thundercats movie is that we're more likely to get an animated one before we get a live action one. But also the series have also dried up as well. So it's not as if there's a lot of momentum, whereas at least with He-Man, there'd been a lot of kind of more modern series building up.
There was a modern Thundercats.
But it had been cancelled.
Oh, right. Yeah. So
yeah. But again, with all this sort of property and otherwise, that they do try and kind of retain it and try and kind of, rejudge it every once in a while. So that is the end of the news.
This is the Faith in Geekery News, broadcast to your home and around the world.
And now to our regional correspondent.
With the weather.
I am Peter Levy.
Yorkshire, apparently.
I am Peter Levy from Lucknorth.
Yeah, pirates from Yorkshire.
Sound like that, but
Paul and Pete. Oh, we need them on.
For those outside of the Yorkshire region, these are the.
If you have not heard of Peter Levy, then just Google Peter Levy. He is incredibly fun.
And you do also get there's a lot of times when he gets a bit flustered And when he maybe says the wrong thing, or otherwise, there's plenty of kind of slip ups and otherwise where he'll look at the camera and go, "Oh my!" But Paul, up until recently, was the mayor. When, in fact, until recently, I think it was maybe 7 or 8 years ago now. He was up until then the mayor of Wetwang in North Yorkshire.
Oh yes.
So he put them on the map, literally on the weather map, and they went, "Oh, go on then. Will you be our mayor?" And he was like, "Yeah, go on then." So he was the mayor of Wetwang. Yeah.
That's how you get to be mayor.
In Wetwang.
Take notes,
Just do
Michael
Wetwang.
Fish. Take notes, Michael Fish. What you could have done,
Where are you mayor of?
rather than falsely predicting that we would not have any tornadoes, and then we did.
Can I just check? Is Michael Fish still alive?
I think he might be sleeping.
Okay. Guess that gets dark very quickly, doesn't it?
Speaking of getting dark quickly, shall we have a quiz?
Yes.
Yeah.
I got questions. The quiz.
This is a very solemn occasion, so we have a 5-question quiz, like normal. There are 5 answers. There are no bonus points unless we negotiate it at that point. But 5 questions, 5 answers. Are we ready? And if you want to follow on at home, do not put it in the comments until you get to. But let us know your score at the end.
Yes.
Mark.
Can I just interrupt? He is still with us. He may be asleep, but he is aged 82.
Oh,
bless you,
God,
Michael
for you.
Fish.
It's still time for him to be mayor.
Questions for the quiz.
Question for the quiz. Question number 1. Which of the following pirates was not a real pirate?
Ooh.
Charles Vane, Captain Flint, Stede Bonnet, Francis Drake. Which of the following pirates was not a real pirate? Charles Vane, Captain Flint, Stede Bonnet, Francis Drake.
I've got questions.
Yeah. That's surely about perspective as well, surely.
Nope, there is one clear answer in that.
Okay.
Question number 2.
And I think I've got it, but also I've got questions.
I'll put 0 already.
Question number 2. Which of the following pirate ships was a real ship? The Jackdaw, the Walrus, the Queen Anne's Revenge, the Black Pearl. Which of the following pirate ships were a real ship? The Jackdaw, the Walrus, the Queen Anne's Revenge, and the Black Pearl.
Where was it?
These are tricky.
Now, the next one is, I think, where both of you will probably want to negotiate bonus points.
I'm putting 0 already now.
No. Can you name any of the pirates who served on the ship the Black Pig from Captain Pugwash? You cannot name Captain Pugwash as one of those pirates.
So if I answer no, do I get a point for that? Because you said, can I name?
By Taskmaster logic, yes.
Or drop
if
out
I
TV.
name more than one, do I get more than one
If
point?
you get
is this,
more
is
than
this
one,
a negotiation?
If you get more than one, you can get more than 1 point.
Great, thank you.
But I'm only accepting those that served on the Black Pig, not any of the other named pirates that appear in the Captain Pugwash book and TV series. But question number 4. Pirate Bay, the illegal file sharing and torrenting platform, was founded in which country? Sweden, Finland, Norway, the Netherlands. In which country was Pirate Bay founded? Sweden, Finland, Norway, or the Netherlands?
I think it's going to be a 0 across the board.
Pirate Bay is also a good place to find those games that have been delisted and movies that have been delisted. We're not recommending you use Pirate Bay because that's illegal file sharing. I'm just saying and pointing out a fact that it's available from there.
Well,
Or
they are
from HM.
there. We're just suggesting you don't take them from there.
Yeah.
So that will be the act of then pirating, but they are located there.
Yeah.
They're also located on PlayStation servers somewhere.
Somewhere.
Are they? Are they?
For now.
And question number 5. The Methodist Church, as it currently stands as a denomination, can trace its origins back to the signing of the Deed of Union. In what year was the Deed of Union signed?
Oh, that feels like that is
19
weighted.
1931, 1932, 1933, or 1934? In what year was the Deed of Union signed? 1931, 1932, 1933, or 1934? As a hint, we are coming up to the 100th anniversary of the signing of the Deed of Union, and in the next couple of years.
Surely.
That's if we
up to all of those.
That's if we make it that far.
Okay. I've got a query over the fact that the first 4 questions are all about pirating, and then the 5th question is about the Methodist Church. Are you implying something there, Tim? Or just the fact that you've gone so far with the ship analogies, and then kind of dropped in one about a church?
I got to admit, I did sit for a long while trying to work out how I could fit the pirates who don't do anything into this quiz.
Fair enough. Just again, don't want people to take anything more sinister away from pirate Methodist Church. So
Yeah,
we're not drawing any lines there.
If you were going to draw lines, it definitely will be with Anglicanism, right? Not Methodism. Like if we were going to go for
No. That's where I do a joke about the ship of Theseus.
Okay.
Over my head. No idea.
Let's
Just
go.
like these answers.
Let's do some answers. Question number 1. Which of the following pirates was not a real pirate? Charles Vane, Captain Flint, Stede Bonnet, Francis Drake. Now, you both said you want to quibble with me about this. What was the quibble?
I just didn't think Francis Drake was a pirate.
Yeah,
so Francis Drake was a privateer. And
he was a
privateer.
He was a privateer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Stede Bonnet.
Stede Bonnet is from the amazing program about pirates. Yes, so it's him. He's the one who's not real.
He is a real pirate. He was a gentleman pirate in the Caribbean.
Got it.
Alongside Charles Vane.
Yeah.
Captain Flint was the fake one because that's the captain from Treasure Island.
Oh, that was the one that sounded most real, and that's because it is a real pirate that lives in my head.
So a fun fact about this: if you've watched Black Sails, they mix because it's based on Treasure Island, but they combine Treasure Island with real life pirates. So you get like all of Flint's crew, including like Long John Silver and Billy Bones, are all fake pirates, but like they interact with real pirates, like
real
Charles
pirates
and Blackbeard. Question number 2: which of the following pirate ships were real? The Jackdaw, the Walrus, the Queen Anne's Revenge, the Black Pearl.
I think it's the Queen Anne's Revenge because I recognise the other ones from stuff.
I mean, that is sound logic.
And
it's correct.
Which
one did you think, Mark?
I just thought it was a silly one, so I guessed the Walrus.
The Walrus was Captain Flint's ship. The Jackdaw was Edward Kenway's ship from Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and the Black Pearl has had many owners over the time in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. The Queen Anne's Revenge,
Captain Jack. I am the Walrus as well. Is the other thing that I thought about that. So
that's fair.
Yeah.
Question number 3: can you name any of the pirates who served on the Black Pig from Captain Bugwash?
Tom the cabin boy.
Correct.
Was my favourite. Master Mates.
Correct.
Oh wow.
And that's it. That's all I can remember.
I've put Stain.
Captain Bugwash.
Was it not like
Stain was one of Cutthroat Jack's pirates on a different ship.
Yeah.
So 0 so far for me.
Master Mate is also known as the Mate, also known as
Mate.
Mr. Mate.
Yeah.
And then Tom the Cabin Boy, yes. Willie, you'd have had.
Willie, yes.
And then the reason I said book or TV show is because in the books there was a character called Barnabas, and Barnabas was not put into the TV series. In the show, he became Jonah. In the same role, same everything. They just changed him from
changed his name.
They changed it from a 8-foot tall, like gentle giant of a Welshman to a similar heighted guy from Jamaica.
Oh, that's nice. Jonah's a funny one though, because it's like like for sailors, a Jonah is somebody that is cursed and you need to chuck off the ship.
No, that's the albatross.
The albatross is the sign.
Yeah, and if you
But
kill
the curse
an
of
albatross,
Jonah,
that's worse. Yeah.
terrible. Don't do that. I've watched Master and Commander.
Oh, that's a fun
Anyway,
one.
I get 2 points for that.
You get 2 points. Question number 4. Pirate Bay, the illegal file sharing platform, others are available, were founded in which country? Sweden, Finland, Norway, or the Netherlands?
See, I said the Netherlands because they're pretty chill over there. They're pretty chill. I said the Netherlands.
I think they're all pretty chill. Like
but Netherlands are the most chill when it comes to what is legal and not. The Netherlands is like the most chill.
Sound logic. Mark.
I put Norway.
The answer is Sweden.
Oh, darn it. They are the least chill in my chill scale.
0 for 4 so far.
And finally, the deed of union, which is signed, which made the Methodist Church's current denomination the current form, was signed in what year? 1931, 1932, 1933, or 1934?
Well, based on your clue, 31 is the one that will be coming up soon, but then that's based on maths, and I'm not very good at maths.
Mark.
It's 2033, I thought.
Oh, darn it.
You've both hit either side of it. It's 1932.
I think that's worse for you getting it wrong than it is for me getting it wrong.
And so they are planning to do Centennial. It was signed in September of 1932 in the Royal Albert Hall. They're already planning to bring a working group together in the next year or two to start planning the Centennial celebrations, hopefully better than the American 250th year anniversary. And it's also the last year for God for All strategy funding and stuff, because they're going to tie it into the centenary.
I realised I got mixed up with the Methodist hymn book, which was 1933.
Yeah.
It came out a year after. But it's interesting because you said we're coming up to it in a couple of years, and therefore a couple of years would surely be 1928.
A couple of Methodist years could be anything. I will say Quinn, my child, does point out to me if I say a couple, he will count how many, and I go, well, no, I've made a few more. He says, Daddy, that's not enough. That's not a couple. So, yeah. So there you go. Points. And that is
3.
the quiz. 3. You got 3.
I got 3.
3.
I got 0.
Goose egg.
Oui, monsieur.
Well done. Well done for competing. Good job.
Thank you. Thanks.
Which I was about to say, which World Cup team would you be the analog for? Turned up, didn't score anything, but they were here for the fun nonetheless. Scotland? No, Scotland scored, didn't they?
Oh, Scotland doing really well.
I think I can't remember.
No,
honestly, the only thing I'm looking forward to is the possibility that it will be USA versus England on the 4th of July. That is literally the only thing I'm looking forward to.
Nice. There's a lot we can do with that. That's brilliant.
I think like, at the 60th minute, the US might draft a couple of French players to come help them out and
throw a bunch of tea into the water. They could do that.
That happens before the game starts.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Just to get us riled up,
We'll
ready to go.
We'll come out with we'll draft in a couple of Irish and Welsh teams as well. Maybe the Scottish will come help us out.
I feel as if we're a little bit political tonight, really. I just can't quite put my finger on it. I just can't quite place it somehow.
But hey, at least we'll have at least we'll do a decent celebration either way.
Yes, indeed. With seawater tea.
Seawater tea. Speaking of tea, righting the ship.
Yeah, so tonight we're looking at, in a more jovial way, I guess, but it could be sensible or silly, ways of which, if we could kind of change one thing with the church, and we're saying this kind of very broadly, whether it's your kind of one down the road or the kind of denomination that you're part of, or the entirety of the Church of God between now and eternity, what would you change? What would you bring if you could just go? And that was me clicking my fingers for those on podcast. What would you change? What would you develop? I've got to say, this also kind of a little bit nod to the project before Faith and Geekery, which I think was called The Naked Chapel, where it ran for a few episodes exploring one thing that you would change if you could strip everything back, hence the naked. If you could strip everything back and just start afresh with church, what would you do? What would you bring to it incorporate that ingredient into what we know as church? What I will say as a learning curve for the Naked Chapel is to not start a series with naked in the title, as it doesn't do very well on algorithms, hashtags, or people just searching for it in general, as well as a couple of people saying, I wonder why you weren't naked, which is quite an interesting comment on that series.
But then you could have done a sideshow. A spin-off.
I don't think anybody wants to see me from a side.
You could have done a spin-off called you could have been like the naturalist priest, naturalist.
Kind of.
No,
we're straying.
So, righting the ship, the church ship.
Speaking of writing ships.
Anybody like to comment about what you do, you change?
I'm wondering if it's acceptable to say you just get rid of all the people, because then maybe, church would be a fantastic place to be because all the people would have gone. But I'm guessing maybe that is not a great place to start.
Have they been raptured? Are they just out there?
Okay, there's somewhere nice, just if there were no people, then everything would just run really, really smoothly. That's just me talking as a vicar.
They're all above the Regis.
In seriousness, as I was thinking and reflecting on this, I was thinking about how often the grass is greener when you're looking across the way at other denominations. And my immediate reaction was, I'd like to be more like them over there. I'd like to be more. So everything I thought about stripping away was the stuff that feels cumbersome as a Church of England person. And then that got me thinking about how that sometimes is a knee-jerk reaction to the stuff that you're not happy with. Does that make sense? I got thinking about I want to get rid of the liturgy. I want to get rid of the connection the Church of England has with the structures of kind of hierarchy in England. I don't want to be the national church. I want to get rid of priesthood and the threefold order, because that just encourages people holding on to power, blah 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 blah. Basically, I want to be more Methodist, is what I was thinking. And I thought, yeah, okay, but then you'd be taking quite a lot of the identity of the Church of England away. What is it I actually would want to change? And when I put down all of my beef about the stuff that bugs me about the Church of England, I realised what I wanted to change was I wanted a deeper focus on justice of all different sorts. And that's nothing to do with liturgy, and it's nothing to do with, it is. I think it deeply is to do with all of those things that I've listed, but actually it's not. It's to do with an attitude or a lack of attitude towards justice.
And it is one of these things, isn't it, that when we talk about what would you change with something, it's very easy to point at something that isn't related to you.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's very easy to kind of go, oh, them over there, or that thing over there, which you haven't actually got a passion over, or otherwise it's much more important.
In fact, that's evoking a presidential speech from Methodist Conference gone by. Former President Ken Howcroft, in his speech to Methodist Conference, his presidential speech said, for the Method, something along the lines of the Methodist Church to be the best Methodists, the Anglicans need to be the best Anglicans, and the Catholics need to be the best Catholics, because only by recognizing and being the best of who we are ourselves means that others can be the best they are, and we can learn and reflect and be supported by one another.
Very nice. Very
nice.
I
like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Occasionally, something is said at a Methodist conference sinks in. And that was one of those years.
2 points. Yeah, I think for me, I think there's something about authenticity. And so I really like the justice thing, by the way. I would have pinched that, Jen, but well done.
Thank you.
2 points. 2 points as well.
I don't know 2 points all around.
I don't know why I'm giving away points, but let's keep it going.
Because we mean prizes.
I really want to win.
I think there is something about authenticity, and whoever we are gathered to kind of bring something that means something to us, rather than trying to kind of abide to tradition or try to do something that we feel that we are obliged to do. To say, actually, what gets us excited? What kind of allows us to tune into God? And I know, like, worship is more than just us and about satisfying us. It's about bringing things to God and about praising God for who they are. I think there's something for me about that kind of, but what actually excites us, what drives us, that, if people are into paddle boarding, why can't we go and do that on a Sunday morning and follow, I want to say Deirdre's kind of paddle boarding
Deirdre the paddle boarder.
This is where
I want to meet her.
I can see that as an advert for something though, like
Deirdre the paddleboarder.
And like there's a care home down near Torquay, and you get a load of women in their 90s doing paddleboarding on a Sunday morning. Before coming in and doing the teas at the local church.
I didn't say whatever old age they were, by the way. That was just you.
It was the name.
But sorry, I'm very good at dropping things at churches where I mention a name and suddenly realise that there's actually one of those in the congregation. So I was kind of going for a random one rather than someone where you go, oh, why is he talking about
naming that person? I really like that idea as well, because one of the things I appreciate most about church is the necessity for me to do stuff that maybe I don't connect with in order to allow the person next to me who I am in fellowship with and whose well-being is intrinsically linked to my well-being because we are in fellowship together. In order for them to have a connection with God, I've got to have a moment where it doesn't make any sense to me. And that's like, that happens so much in churches, right? Like in corporate worship, that we go through periods where none of that makes sense to me. None of that resounds, or feels profound or resonates, but it does for the person next to me, and their joy is my joy, and our joy together is God's joy complete. So, there's a sense that we can practice selflessness in corporate worship, which I like the challenge around that. So even though my heart's desire would be to strip away most of Anglicanism, I don't, because I appreciate that there are people who need it in order to connect with who God is.
I have a structural one, kind of. It's semi-structural. Term limits and gatekeeping is my generic title for it. So
say that first bit again.
Term limits and gatekeeping.
For some reason, I thought it said time limits.
No, it's not conference. I don't have a. So, in what I mean by term limits is, from my experience, the people who seem to have the most amount of power and influence within the church institution, be that local church level to connectional church and beyond, are those who perhaps have been in longer than they should, and perhaps need to step away. Not saying that then they can't do the job competently, but actually maybe some of the issues that are arising are due to them being around for too long and not allowing new voices to come in, which then links to the gatekeeping, which is why the hell has it taken us this long to have the ordination of women and female bishops in the Church of England? Let's have more female bishops. Let's have more queer affirming church. Get rid of all that gatekeeping crap. We don't need that here. And that includes, actually having, in terms of like our institutional organizations, what ways can we enable those voices to be heard more? So how can we hear more from those from who are in the minority within the UK within our churches, but actually more of a life in our local churches anyway? How can we have a church that's more embracing and accepting of those who are neurodivergent? And that means challenging the ways that we do church, not just at grassroots, but how do we do church and conferring at the non-hierarchical highest levels.
Agreed.
And that is something that's been relating to Methodist Conferences Week. That's something that's been mentioned today, that it was mentioned on the floor, so I'm not breaking any confidence. It was a public debate. You can all go watch it. We have said a member of the survivors group, Safeguarding Survivors group, mentioned that they've found difficulty having conversations with those at the highest levels of the Methodist Church, yet have managed to have conversations in other parts of the church themselves. And this is 10 years on from our past cases review. So if it's taking 10 years to get a 2-minute conversation on the conference floor for a group that we're interested in and help establish as it is, then how does that help for those who are neurodivergent? How does
Absolutely.
it queer affirming? How does that work? So
100%.
that's what I mean by gatekeeping in term limits.
Can I just take a pause there just to say that if there is anything that you are affected by through the past case review or otherwise, to seek kind of support where you need it. And I think these are big subjects. And so I know that we've started off in a jovial sort of way, but actually that's quite a big, serious one. And I hope that folks can find the support that they need in that. But I think it is, but as we talk about church, then we should be trying to get the right representation and care and voices in those places, from those places, to be amplified. Because if they can't do it at church, then where can they do it? And also
recognizing that within churches, like I'd say most denominations are slowly doing this. In terms of we're recognizing when we've been complicit in historic wrongdoings.
Absolutely.
And
it's a tricky one for us as the Church of England at the moment because of the I don't know if you saw the backpedaling, it's the only way I can describe it, around the reparation fund that was set up under the previous Archbishop. And that my heart is crying out for justice, and I'm just so disheartened time and again at the moment in particular when I see that kind of backpedaling around reparation, around issues of racial injustice, around issues of injustice around queer people, women, minorities. Like it just seems to be that we are slipping and sliding all over the place. And just to echo really what you said there, the one thing, well, it's not really one thing, it's the thing I would change is accountability and transparency for people in authority. That is something we've been lacking, and something I would absolutely long to see change at the deepest levels, at the highest levels, in the rooms of power, transparency and accountability. And that does come back to my point around corporate worship being such a valuable tool for our own personal discipleship, because it puts us in a position where we practice selflessness, where we say, this isn't for me, it's my neighbour, so therefore it is for me because it's for them and I'm for them. It's the same at that level too, that if people are in those rooms of power and they are self-interested, and God forgive us, in the Church of England it has been and is still the case, world without end kind of vibe. Like if those people are in those rooms and they're self-interested and they are not held to account and they are not held to a higher transparent level that is needed from leadership, then we're nowhere. And that is absolutely, for me, that's the fundamental heart of justice. And that is what I would change.
There's
3 points to me.
There's one I can bring up that I know Becca, our other co-host, who's currently at conference, along with Tom and Lydia, our other co-hosts. Something that Becca, I think, would mention about this is how can we enable lay ministry to be supported in such a way that it's not seen as an additional burden for someone who wants to look at and explore ministry. So right now, if if I had a different job, theoretically, it would be, if I wanted to explore a call to ministry in any capacity, it would be I have to do my 9 to 5 job or whatever my job would be, and then in the evening spend all that extra time doing the calling to ministry that I have, in addition to trying to be a good husband, trying to be a good parent, in addition to socializing and actually having a life outside of the church.
Balance.
Trying to do all that.
How dare you?
Trying to do all that and recognizing that you're not being financially, emotionally supported through that. Actually, how can we enable that to happen for people who actually want to explore a call to ministry, but recognize in this economy?
Yeah. I think the Church of England has historically been not great at prioritising lay ministry, or indeed valuing it, even though we rely on it so heavily, because we put so much emphasis on priesthood, and we still do because of the way that communion is ordered for us, and a bunch of other reasons, the way that ecclesiology is ordered, and our understanding of the Godhead is ordered, right? Like it's such an emphasis. But I have to say, the Lichfield Diocese, which is where I am, it's where I'm part of, they're doing some good kind of work around lay ministry right now, and lay vocation in particular. So it's interesting to be seeing that up close at the moment. We're getting better. We're not in any way there by any stretch of the imagination, but we are actually getting better, and that's really encouraging. That's been something that I've been encouraged by recently, just so it's not all doom and gloom.
Well, I think there's also another element here about when we talk about the institution. We are in a culture where institutions are going through a lot of scrutiny, and whether it's the Houses of Parliament, the BBC, whether it's these kind of big, iconic institutions, and people are kind of going, actually, we want to be beyond that, or we want to revolutionise that. There's a question here about whether
I wouldn't want to get rid of an institution. Like, I would want to reduce it in terms of if slightly doom and gloom. I see a church like Marley's Ghosts, like all the chains all over them.
Okay.
Kind of thing, right?
Semi-transparent, and then they come out at night.
Yeah.
I love that it's Marley's Ghost, which means this is Muppets Christmas Carol version of
Marley.
That's where you're going.
Works.
So
carry on, I'm with you.
Yeah. So I see church institutions right now are being like Marley's Ghost, where they have all the chains all over them, and then rather than trying to get rid of chains, we're adding more chains to you, no matter what you do, because we've always had this. We have to keep it going this way. Now, some of those chains are helpful. We don't have to look too far at seeing churches which do not have any boundaries or guides having lots of major issues. If you want to know more, there are many podcasts we can recommend which do deep dives into all of this. But so I think that there is, similar with unions, there is safety in structure, there is accountability in structure, and there's accountability within the institutional structures that way. But at what point do institutional shackles and structures inhibit the will of God on the people of God?
Yeah. Did you say unions, as in where workers unite to?
Yeah, I think they're safe. Yeah, because people see.
And then did you do a little kind of Billy Bragg version, but for church? Because I really appreciated it. I hope it was that. That's also there's power in the union. You carry on. I love it.
That's something I want. I'm probably going to watch tonight. I'm probably going to rewatch Pride as well tonight.
Oh, such good.
But yeah, I think
Okay.
there is like a need.
There
Like
is power in the union.
yeah, like I am one of those. I think I'm fast become one of those people who people that know me know that I'm quite a geeky person when it comes to church. I'm quite a geeky person in general, but I'm a geeky person when it comes to like institutions and how conferences work. So I appreciate what like the Methodist Conference and the General Synod to some extent when I was working for the Anglicans many years ago. Like I appreciate what the General Synod tries to do and how that mechanism is there to enable some needed things to happen. Do I see that actually being useful as it is now, and is that actually fulfilling its purpose? Probably not. So it's how can we? So it's the endless. So with Methodist Conference, one of the key things that happens at Methodist Conference is the ordination and commissioning of new presbyters and new deacons. That is an amazing thing to be a part of, and is slap bang in the middle of conference in terms of your presbyteral session, ordinations effectively, and your lay session afterwards. And that middle bit is the bit where it's actually the coming together of the people of God to recognize the calling on these people's lives and their willingness to follow it and support and pray for them as they go out into their ministry. And that is brilliant, and that is needed. All the extra stuff around the side, like trying to fit 95 pieces of business into one day and ensuring we're following proper debating procedures and
I think you've got a red light coming on there, Tim.
Like, how is that useful, and is that what we made that more of the idol in the church rather than actually
as people we've always tried to fit into day-to-day rational experience the conceptual idea of God and church, haven't we? We've always gone, right, so conceptually this is who God is and this is what church is and this is what it means to walk the way with Jesus. So okay, how do we organize that? How do we structure that? And then in the structure comes the human fallibility, which is the desire for individual power, isn't it? And the desire for fame and for fortune, right? Like that. So then you get the rest, don't you? You get you get all the rules and you get the PCCs and you get you get the things that tie your hands that stop mission from happening, and you get what's allowed and what's not allowed and who's in and who's out, and there is so much that you need to chuck out, but then there is the baby that you need to hold on to, isn't there? And deciphering between those two things is incredibly hard. And for me as an Anglican, I don't have voice in that. I don't shape the Anglican Church. I'm just a member of it, and I choose either to adhere to it or not. That's my choice. It is a black and white choice. Like, even if I stand for General Synod, I can't change the articles that we have. General Synod can't do that. Like, it's an act of Parliament to change the stuff that we have. Like, to be able to hold fast to that baby that is in there, which is actually, I love Jesus and believe that Jesus is the answer for everything that is needed in the world, whilst also ministering as an Anglican minister. Sheesh. I wish I could. That's what I'd change. I'd change that. I'm agreeing with you, Tim, I think, basically.
Dear AI Grick, please remove all unnecessary red tape from the... Only kidding, folks. Only kidding, folks. Shall we wrap it up there? I think this could be like an easier series with these sort of things and kind of opportunities to dive down deeper.
This is the kind of conversation we need to do late, which we normally have like late in the evening. after a really long
Again,
day.
it's another punt for the kind of Faith and Geekery after hours conversation, isn't
After
it?
hours.
So we'll
Sure
have to
is.
put one of those.
Faith and Geekery after dark. You buy the wine, we will bring the tea. There's your tagline. That's what we
There
need.
it is. There it is, you guys.
For those who drink and those who don't.
Speaking
but we've come full circle about.
But speaking
tea.
of, fun fact: there's a game that came out like 16 days ago. There are 100 million people following it now.
Whoa.
It's a game where you play as like little blob men, and you play hide and seek. And when you're hiding and seeking, you have to hide in art galleries. So maybe there's a blob man in our geeky gallery.
Oh, I hope so.
Should we move to that?
Yeah.
For the record, I don't think there is. But have a look. So following from last week, I've just shared a little photo of my lettering with the little chips cut out of it, because I think Becca had suggested that, even though I have actually done it more sensible lettering, and now I want to go back and do it, because this photo for me, with the overlaying of it looks a little bit more haphazard, and I like that better than what I have done. So I'm going to have to undo some stitching. There is Holly Moose, who has kind of shared the program for Operation Mincemeat.
Oh, that's so cool.
Keeping theatre in mind, we also have Mendip that has got Ralph Little on stage with the play. Who came in from the cold.
Who came in from the cold, yeah.
Is it not the spy who came in from the cold?
Oh, yeah. No. I couldn't quite read it. Yeah, the spy who came in from the cold. Obviously,
is a
Jen.
legend. Obviously.
2 points. 2 points.
Definitely winning.
Tim, I think you mentioned this last time, but we didn't have the gallery up and running.
Yeah, I did a load of I'm doing a load of Hero Forge stuff in the background because it's nice and relaxing, and it means I can finish one and say, right, I'm done. So he stops going to ADHD rabbit holes. So I run a group on every other Saturday, and it's for I'm gonna just do all your characters in Hero Forge.
Cool.
So there they are, and one of them,
Very
since
cool.
I did this, has died and been revived.
As you mentioned last
you.
time.
As I mentioned last time.
Oh, you.
So we have 2 Tiefling Artificers, a Elven Ranger, a Halfling Fighter Rogue, and a Barbarian Bard Goliath.
Very cool.
You're making me miss out. You're making me miss out on D&D. I need more of that in my life.
FOMO.
We have Drogo Nevitz showing off their ink day, so a lot of outline of, I think it's like a
That is
Asian
so
style
cool.
That's a
Dragon.
Yeah,
That is
down
so
the
cool.
sleeve. A sleeve, is that what you
A
call
sleeve.
it?
That's a
It is
sleeve.
Yeah,
Very
fantastic.
cool.
Also,
I want to know how long it
Mandalorian
took.
shirt.
I was just
Also Mandalorian shirt.
Mandalorian shirt. That's the perfect picture. I want to know how long that took, because that looks epic.
That's the outline.
Looks very cool. That's just the
If
outline. That is very
it's
impressive.
anything like how long mine took, mine took about 9 to 10 hours just to do
it's a
outlines and stuff.
couple of sessions, right, to do it all. And also, absolutely, kudos for the Mandalorian t-shirt. We love it.
They demand Joe Lauren.
And then here is
the
images that Becca mentioned last week of the Hercules performance musical spectacular that happened
That's so cool.
Second Life.
We should mention that it is available on the Geeky Gallery to actually watch the video, and so you can actually kind of download that and watch the full feature.
So join us on
That's so
Discord,
cool.
and you can do that like other people have been doing. Also, while you're on the Discord, why not enter our competition to win the ticket for Comic-Con? Entries close really soon.
Oh, that is very true indeed, folks. So you go to you'll find the details. There also is another video to play on the Discord, which is Note Just, who has just been playing with diodes and microelectronics, and a little kind of, I want to say it looks like a little chapel almost.
It looks like a chapel.
That looks like a primitive Methodist chapel.
That might just be, or is it like a snowy? I don't know if it's like a snowy attempt or not. I don't know, but it looks.
Let's say it's a primitive Methodist chapel for the purpose.
We have
box.
A chalk box, yeah. Is that what that was?
I don't know.
Has been.
I don't know. It's
we need to
cute,
go and press play on it definitely.
Yeah.
As soon as I'm done here. Lydia Moo has got showing off some Highland cow stuff, which I think is a loo roll holder, and your butt napkins, my lady, with a Highland cow with 2 kind of loo rolls. I think he used to have one with a squirrel or something on it. So that's very cool.
Cute.
Drogonets again, talking about the kind of aircon breaking down in the community first responder car, and that was on during the hot days last week.
Ooh.
So
Let's get ready for the hot days next week.
Through that. Yes, indeed. Oh, and here are a couple of bits for my 3D printer, making the Iron Man helmet for my son, and then the Specky Geek talking about kind of documenting their Magic the Gathering decks on Moxfield, and there's like 20 or so bits and pieces there, which are looking.
I updated my spreadsheet of all my Magic the Gathering cards. I'm missing 4 cards from one set.
Oh, painful.
I know.
Oh, and that is the end of Geeky Gallery.
Yeah.
Is there anything to mention on that before we put a bookend to it? Close the book.
That was just very cool. Very impressive geeking.
Very
like
good.
it.
Yeah. We have, I think, 2 more episodes of this season, don't we?
Yes, we do. I think we're joined by Abby next week to talk about horror, and then the week after we are just having a little bit of a end of term party. So crack out your Schlur, or your ice pops, or whatever it will be, depending on how hot it's going to be.
I was the kind of pretentious teenager that I used to go to the shops at Tesco and bring bottles of Schlur in, just to have to drink. Well, I think it's kind of pretentious when you're a 16-year-old that goes out for lunchtime and buys like bottles of Schlur and like brings them in to drink them in. You're like,
we were just a non-alcoholic household, so Schlur was our party pop, our kind of get it at Christmas and Easter. And
exactly, it's a fancy drink.
It's a fancy
times. It's fancy.
Fancy drinks. A fancy people.
In rural East Yorkshire as pig farm worker. Yeah.
Oh, fancy
glass.
Oh.
Good Yorkshire.
Oh. This is where we're like, this is where for our summer extravaganza we just do like sketches from Vicar of Dibley.
Vicar of Dibley.
We got the script.
Other accents are also available.
Oh no! Let's do one of the PCC meetings from Vicar of Dibley.
No, that's just my life.
So whether we have righted the church ship or not, whether we've come to a conclusion or not, or avoided anything politically charged or otherwise.
No, we haven't.
I hope that you have the rest of a good evening for those who are watching live, for those who are enjoying conference or any other kind of oversight role in the church or otherwise. We do actually pray that God is in part of all these decision makings and otherwise. And we also pray for that justice, for those quiet voices within our congregations, communities, that they can be heard and be valued because they are loved by God. I hope you all have a good day. And as we come to the end of Pride Month as well, for our fellow sisters, misters and folks, everybody, every persuasion, we hope that you are listened to and you know that you are loved by God, whatever shape, orientation or rectangle. Bless you all. Good evening. Good night.